I have become the best known sport flooring contractor in the world, and I'm just getting started. Hello, this is Paul Nelson with Western Sport Floors, Wyoming Wood Floors, coming to you today from Clinton, Montana. I'm here with our office manager, Miss Rose Waddell. Rose, thank you for joining me at my table saw.
Yeah, no problem.
Wanted to just talk a little bit today about company culture, about employees. I think employees is something that most construction firms have struggled with over the last year and a half since COVID hit specifically, and so it's something I'm thinking about a lot. Things that we're discussing a lot. How do we continue to attract good quality employees to our company? What are the things that we have to do with respect to employee compensation, benefits, and an overall culture that attracts the kind of people that we want to work together with to represent our company? To that end, I recently read Peter Thiel's book, 0 to 1. 0 to 1. And who was Peter Thiel? Peter Thiel, along with partners, initially created PayPal. In Silicon Valley, it was called the PayPal Mafia because it was such an incredible group of individuals. So I thought it would be worthwhile to share what it is that PayPal put together. And I'm not under any illusions that we're going to put together a PayPal here at Western Sport Floors. But I do think there's a culture and there's some things that they were able to obtain that would be beneficial for us to bring into our company as well. So PayPal was sold to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion, which sounds like a lot of money. That's a lot of money. It was 7 different partners, but here's what the partners have done since 2002 when they sold PayPal. These partners are either owners or founding members of these companies. Elon Musk, who we've all heard of, he is involved with SpaceX and Tesla Motors. Reid Hoffman, founding member of LinkedIn. Chad Hurley, Jawad Karim, and Steve Chen, YouTube. Jeremy Stoffelman, Russell Simmons, Yelp. David Sachs, Yammer, and Peter Thiel himself with Palantir. All 7 of those companies are now worth more than $1 billion. So they had this group of individuals that granted split a fairly nice payday when eBay came in and bought PayPal. But they went on then individually and successfully created some fabulous companies that most everyone has heard of. So there was a couple of things that Peter Thiel talked about with respect to the culture that they created at PayPal that I think is valuable for any business, valuable for us. And it's things that we're trying to emulate in some capacity. But I'd like to quote from his book. He said the PayPal team was not developed by sorting through resumes and picking out the best ones. Taking a merely professional view of the workplace in which free agents check in and out on a merely transactional basis is worse than cold. It's not even rational. Since time is your most valuable asset, it's odd to spend it working with people who you don't envision any long-term relationship together. If you cannot count durable relationships among the fruits of your time at work, then you have not invested well, even in purely financial terms. From the start, this is Peter Thiel talking, I wanted PayPal to be a tightly knit instead of a transactional company. I thought stronger relationships would make us not just happier and better at work, but would also make us more successful in our careers even beyond PayPal. So we set out to hire people who would actually enjoy working together. They had to be talented, but even more than that, they had to be excited about working specifically with us. That was the start of the PayPal Mafia. he talks about recruiting fellow conspirators. And when he uses the term conspirators, he's talking about people that take on the culture and the vision of their specific company. He said recruiting has to be a core competency for any company, and recruiting can never be outsourced. So Rose, I wanted to do this video specifically with you because you came on board with our company about 6 months ago?
Correct.
7 months ago? And you've been an absolute game changer for us in so many ways. And that's opened the doors for us. And first of all, just to go back and explain to anyone that doesn't know, almost exactly a year ago, our warehouse burned to the ground with everything in it. Shortly thereafter, my office manager resigned. We hired a new office manager who only made it about 4 months. So we went through 2 office managers and lost our warehouse in a period of just a few months. We were also, of course, dealing with COVID, and we had employees that quit. And so we went through the entire 2021 system at about 50%, 2021 season at about 50% staff, which was a really difficult year for all of us that were here. And so hiring and recruiting people became something that we talk about a lot. Yes. And I'd like you to talk about your feeling. I just read what Peter Thiel put together on PayPal, but even more than what Peter Thiel has said, give me your thoughts, Rose, about what it means to come to work and work with coworkers. What are some of your thoughts on that?
My biggest thought, and the one thing I do live with, is a place home away from home. So you come to work, you spend 40, 60, 80 hours at work. So you're working with all of these people, and you literally live there more than you do at home. So my biggest role is, in anything I put out there, I want to find a place home away from home. Something I'm comfortable going to, something I'm happy to go to, and something I can get out of bed and be energized to go.
You have been fabulous at talking to me about the importance of time off for guys, company picnics, company retreats. Talk to me more about that, why that's so important in building the dynamics of a team.
So the only way you can work with somebody and not be so stressed out at work all the time is to have that time away from the job. More so to be interactive with a company or with a coworker, but on the outskirts of the job, you have that laid back, comfortable, relaxed setting of just being able to interact with the coworkers and their families. Families are very important to everybody, obviously. And so bringing those families to these events allows for anything to happen outside of work to also help within the job itself, as far as trust, loyalty, the bringing people together, the helping people outside of work along with inside of work, just that total interaction within the company and the coworkers. And on top of that, if you are that close with your coworkers, you're going to do almost anything on the job for that coworker.
And you're not just talking about this on a video. This is what you live day in and day out.
Day in and day out. And I truly, truly believe it for all people. Working in a job, working in a corporate, working in a small business, especially a small business, just because there are so limited people. Being that close with somebody is just an unbelievable, makes you happy, makes you excited to go to work, gets you up in the morning, gets you, what you need to do all day, instead of, at that midpoint where you're just exhausted and you don't want to go any further. It pushes you to get you all the way through the day.
For sure. And doesn't that even make it even more important? I mean, we have a core group here that is really special, really special. But it makes it even more important than when we're looking at bringing new people in, that we don't poison the well, so to speak, with an individual that doesn't fit within that company culture.
That is correct. If you bring somebody in that disrupts that, it disrupts the whole company and the operations.
So having that core culture that we have and wanting to maintain that. In other words, like Peter Thiel said, hiring co-conspirators.
Correct.
People that buy in to our culture, which is, frankly, a very tight-knit group.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, these are the things that we're thinking about, the things that we are striving to put into place in our company. And we've been more successful at some times than we have at others. We don't hold ourselves up to be pros at this stuff. But these are the thoughts that we're thinking going forward as we continue to look at ways to bring new people into our company and into our culture.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Rose. I know this wasn't exactly within your comfort zone, but I appreciate you talking to me.
You're welcome.
For Western Sport Floors and Wyoming Wood Floors, this is Paul Nelson. You make it a great day.